Knockout Legends in the building. Like, comment, and subscribe. So I just saw the new poster for I think it's Maximum Impact fight for Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic. Now, I think it's the 5th of April at the Co-op Live, and it's the main event, and Hrgovic is stepping in for Dillian Whyte because Dillian Whyte's pulled out with an injury. My thoughts on this fight are maximum impact, more like maximum trauma. I think more so for Joyce. This is his last chance. I don't think if he loses this fight, it's completely over. His career's over. I've always said it. Frank, for some reason, doesn't favour Joe, and he's not guided his career in the right way. But I don't blame Frank, because Frank's matchmaking and making the fights the way he does, and he tries to make the best fights for his fighters he can. So who he gets to fight, he gets you to fight. If you can fight, you fight them. Who I blame is Joyce's manager. I forgot the guy's name, but Sam something he's called. But the guy's not got the best interests of Joe at heart. I think they just use Joe as a cash cow and basically take advantage of him. We know Joe's not the sharpest tool in the toolbox, but you know, the guy come to fight, his career was on track for a world title, and then, you know, for some reason he decided to take the Zhang fights when he didn't need to. You know, he was on track. I'm not saying he should have waited, but like, why give Zhang the opportunity to fight and, you know, basically derail your plans? I'm not saying he should have ducked him, but he didn't need to fight him. Some fights you don't need to fight, but I don't know. You got to give him his kudos. He wanted to fight the best. Whoever come in front of him, he fought. So you can't blame him. But eventually, this is what heavyweight boxing's about. Eventually, when you fight people, or you fight everyone in your division, there's always going to be someone that you come up against that's going to give, you know, the style's going to be too much for you, or he's going to give you problems, and that's what happened. And then ever since then, he's not really been the same, you know. Derek Chisora, you know, I don't think he can come back and recreate his reputation like Daniel's done. You know, Daniel had youth on his side, and I think that helped him, you know, revitalise his career, you know. But even Daniel's a bit suspect because, like in my last video, that pull out again, it's a bit weird, and I'm getting kind of fed up with this, because it's like certain fighters now, they're realizing, because the fights that are getting made are very, very hard, they're realizing that if they do lose, they lose a lot, so they're just pulling out. But it's down to more than just injuries or illnesses that nobody can tell us what's wrong, or nobody can show us anything that's, you know, as evidence, like I don't know, X-ray or you know, doctor's report, you know, like Kelbrook did when he had the eye problem. You know, there's a lot of substance abuse in boxing, and obviously a lot of people are not working out the cycles properly, and that's probably why people are getting caught up and then having to pull out fights, because they know that the fight will get cancelled, so they'll just cancel it anyway. And a lot of these people that are cancelling the fights, in the past, when fights have been cancelled on them, they would complain, i.e. Dillian Whyte, for example. But again, boxing's got into this state because it's just always about money and reputation. You know, one thing I will give Joyce, he is like Anthony Joshua. He'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, and that's a good thing. Daniel was like that, but I think with Daniel being young and impetuous, he's realised you can do that, but you need to have more in your locker. You gotta have like confidence. You gotta have that kind of belief, self-belief, and he's possibly got that now. But you know, it was what it is. But my thoughts on the fight: good matchup, possibly even better than the original matchup. I actually predicted, of course, if you check on my channel, the Dillian Whyte versus Joyce fight a long time ago. But that's not happening. But this actually fights a potential better fight because obviously Hrgovic is coming off his loss with Dubois, and Joyce I think is coming off his loss with Derek in it. So it's a good kind of matchup for both fighters to get themselves back on track. I probably would favour Hrgovic in this fight. He's got the better head movement, better boxing range, I'd say, better use of jab. But you know, you can't write Joe out. He's strong, he's tough, he's durable. It's just if he doesn't cover up and doesn't move his head and doesn't box smarter, then he's going to be in for a hard night's lesson. So, you know, anyway, what are your thoughts on this fight? Do you think it's actually better than the Dillian Whyte fight? I do. I just hope Joe can actually come through this fight and actually win and actually make a statement. But anyway, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe. And that is another one from the one and only Knockout Legends. Peace.